Hello, it's Charlene Sanjenko, and I'm here with my good friend and colleague, Morna McGillivray from Revolutionary Woman Global. I'm the founder of Regen Impact Media, and I'm excited to welcome you to another conversation in our Game On Warmup series, where we're starting to talk more and more about what would happen, what might be possible as we think about transformation by design.
Mm.
And we're coming to you today with a conversation with a theme of the door for more. For those of you that know me, you love it when things kind of articulate together. And the door for more is really a conversation about what are you deliberately doing to call in the energy and the experience that you most want for the upcoming season. And we're catching you in the week leading up to the harvest full moon and an eclipse. So it's a really
Mm.
powerful time. And we really want to just encourage you to bring a bit of intentionality to your fall planning. So, Morna, thank you for being here for another conversation. And
Welcome.
I'm super curious when you hear like the door for more, just knowing the energy that you're tapping into right now, like what does that bring up for you?
It's really curious. Like, as soon as you said the door for more, I imagined us on like a game show type of thing, right? With
Yeah,
literally like, which door are you going to go through? This one's got this amazing thing behind it. This one's got
right?
this, oh, I don't know if I want that thing behind it. And, thinking about which door are we going to intentionally walk through? Which door are we going to choose?
Yeah,
And then how much of that is informed as well by who we are when we walk through that door.
yeah. And and what I'd like to kind of bring to that is not only who we are, but what's the energy that we're holding, right?
Mm,
Like what's because it's the energy that attracts the people and the opportunities and the possibilities. And so um I, I think I spend a lot of time kind of curating, I don't know, like little mini adventures in my life that are designed to um, put me in a place or an experience that will raise my energy. And
mm.
I guess I'm curious because I'm not sure, like, I don't know if people do this or if people think about doing this. And I'll give you an example, and then I'm gonna see if it plays off of like what you do for this. But so, as you know, I'm pretty excited because my husband and I are taking a little long weekend, and we're going to one of my favorite places in Seattle this weekend, and I noticed that part of my rhythm is to plan every, kind of 6 weeks, these little mini adventures. But it's not so much just for like what we're going to do. It's for putting us in places where we know we love the energy and the
Mm,
experience.
mm.
So we're going to a football game this weekend, which is one of my favorite things ever. We're going to visit the university district, which has all the back to school energy, and we're going to some of our favorite restaurants, and where's the music happening, and I know that the experience of this weekend will bring energy that's going to fuel this whole season for me, and
Mm.
doing it really deliberately. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious. I want to ask you a couple of questions about that. Like, why does this particular experience give you the energy that you need for the season? What is it about this
Yeah.
experience? What's happening for you in it?
Yeah. I get really excited. Like I
Mm,
feel it in my body. Um, I am a Virgo, so it's the back to school energy. In a lot of ways, I can feel the crisp, like in the air. Like it all just gets me going. And so it's like, okay,
Uh, yeah.
how do I leverage that? How do I
Mm,
leverage the energy that's already there and just tag
mm,
into it? Right? It's
mm.
almost like when you were a kid and you used to play like crack the whip, you know? That's what, oh,
Is this a
did
North
you?
American thing? Oh, we didn't play that in New Zealand. I don't know what that was a different game in my Scottish New Zealand family, but
So
okay.
you like have, you have three or four people in a row. Usually you're in ice skates. So of course this makes sense that this is, a Canadian
Of course
thing.
you're a nice Gates.
And and the first one or two people stop, and then the other people that are on the end, go get momentum and go flying around, and it's a lot of fun. Like you play it when you're kids. And I think that's what it feels like when you can find that anchor point and
Yeah.
experience that already has the energy, and then you grab onto it, and then what does that help you to propel for yourself for the upcoming season? And that's one of the things that I want to talk with you about today, is like being
Mm,
able to name what you want it to propel. Like,
mm,
again, making sure that it's a deliberate experience, but like for what purpose, right?
mm, mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super curious. Like I'm picking up on a couple of things you've said, and when we started talking about this episode and what we were going to chat about, I it's interesting to notice that I automatically turned inwards to think about my internal landscape. And
Mm.
that's interesting. And I'll talk a little bit about that. And I'm
Hmm.
hearing something a little different from you, because what I'm hearing you say is that we can almost borrow this energy,
We
right?
can
If we
tap
put it,
in.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, we
Yeah.
can tap in, which kind of, I'm thinking, gosh, I maybe I'm making this a little harder than I need to, because I just noticed how I automatically went internal. And yeah, I mean, obviously there's an internal play here as well. And I could say one of the things that I do is, if I can't find it externally, I'll manufacture it internally. I'll go back
Mm.
to a time when I felt that,
Hmm.
or I'll create a game in my body that will help me
Hmm.
find that. Like literally
Hmm.
create that. When you said back to school, I was like, "Ooh, brand
Hmm.
new notebooks."
Hmm.
Like yesterday, I bought a
Hmm.
brand new journal, which is
Yeah.
one of my most favorite things to do. Like
Yeah.
that feeling of just opening the blank page and that feeling of
Yeah.
possibility. Oh, I just got a little shiver. So, obviously there's some journaling involved. And what I'm hearing you saying is the intentionality around it,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the conscious creation of the
Yeah.
experience. And you know what you want, because
Yeah.
also I was thinking, just the different ways we could experience that energy of going into the back to school district. If you're not in the right frame, you might
Yeah.
be experiencing that in a completely different way,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Well, it's
Yeah.
interesting what you're kind of leaning into is like I'm talking about external and you're talking about internal. And it makes me think about, because again, with this whole Game On series, I love to make these football and these sports analogies. So I've got to pull one in here, but there in football, there's a really good team plays complementary football, and that is when the offensive team, people who are playing offense, the players who are playing offense are working with the players that are playing defense. So, as an example, let's say your offense is out on the field and they don't get a chance to score. Something happens, it doesn't work. There's no score. So if you're playing really good complementary football, your defensive team goes on and they're going to do everything they can to make sure that the other team doesn't score. And
Right.
if you can get that working well together. And so I think that that's a good analogy for what we're talking about. You need to internally know for what
Mm,
purpose you're harnessing this energy. You need to
Yeah.
externally go out there and find it and experience it and leverage it, whether that's at a football game or a music concert, or a symphony or a ballet, like whatever it is that reminds you that you're fully alive. and then
Mm,
and then have some discernment, have a you know have be able to walk home and just tell someone that you know, love, and trust, like our relationship. What are you going to do with it?
mm.
Declare what matters most to me right now, and how do I want to use this energy to propel
Mm.
this action or decision or whatever. So I'm curious where that takes you.
It's, I'm a big fan of declaration for sure. We're on the same page there
Yeah.
for sure. And the power of declaring. And what's coming up for me is the power of declaring and knowing the experience you want at the same time. So, for example, for me, it's I'm so stoked that we're moving into harvest season because the next move that I'm making in Revolutionary Woman Global is releasing an audiobook that really is a harvest of a couple of decades of work, right? And it's exciting. And I noticed the different ranges of experiences that I could have with that.
Mm,
And I'm in this conversation leaning into the feeling that I want to celebrate this whole season.
yeah.
I want to create a celebration around the release of this audiobook and every
Yeah.
experience that goes along with it.
Yeah.
And bringing the word celebration in, and I'm just
Yeah.
noticing this in my body right now, and I'm already kind of thinking about what that will look and feel like. That
Hmm.
changes the game of
Yeah.
this season for me.
Yeah.
From it could be so many different experiences. It could be this. I mean, there'll be a little bit of that because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
healthy. Um, or I could experience it as a bit of a drudge, all the different things
Yeah.
that, that need to happen. So many different ways that experience could unfold. And when I intentionally, deliberately declare and then decide that it's going to be a celebration,
Hmm.
that brings a different energy to it. And
Yeah.
then I'm thinking, okay, well, how can I invoke that celebratory feeling and experience?
Yeah.
So you've got me thinking in real time. This is happening for
I
me in
love
real
it.
time as you're
I love
watching.
it. I love
Yeah.
it. Well, and that's the whole point of harvest. Like if we can really sink into the energy of the harvest full moon, like that's what you're feeling into. When you're
Mm,
harvesting something, it's because it's ready. Doesn't mean that there's
yes.
not work to do, but it's the culmination of work. The work that you have done for decades, and now
Decades.
to be
Yeah.
able to pull together this media experience, this audible experience, and to share it, that is such a gift. And I know
Mm.
that part of tradition culturally, with harvest season, is it's a feast. It's a feast for
Oh,
the senses, whether it's salmon, or the vegetables, or like what a feast for everyone to enjoy.
what a feast for everyone to enjoy. I'm just writing that down because I love
So
it. I love it.
so tell me where you feel that in your body, because one of the things that I want to
Mm,
share with folks today, when they're thinking about, okay, like we're talking about energy, and we're talking about, making a declaration with where I want to focus that energy for fall. Like, how do I know my focus is going in the right place? Like, and I want to talk for a bit about the power of discernment.
mm. Well, I'm literally experiencing it right now, so it's easier for me to tap into it.
Yeah.
there's a couple of places that I feel it in my body because you might notice what my face is doing. I'm smiling and it's genuine because I feel it. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling a little emotion on the edge of my skin here. And I got a little bit, my cheeks hurt a little bit
Yeah.
because I'm smiling so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I feel a little tingle in my shoulders and I love that you use the word feast because I'm just thinking about that feeling of looking at the bounty on the table and the spread.
Mm.
And one of the things I love doing is creating beauty out of small things. And
Mm.
just even thinking about how much beauty we can create without a big hoo-ha around it. Like I can go
Yeah.
out right now. I'm blessed to live on a mountain. I can find beautiful things in nature to make an incredible table. I could have a few simple foods on it, and it's an amazing feast. And
Yeah.
there's so much to celebrate. And so I'm kind of going back and forth. Sometimes for me, and actually it's not true, it's not a sometimes thing. It's um it's a moment to moment recalibration to that feeling. And I think
Mm.
from a discernment point of view, it's really important that we have an embodied experience of the feeling we want and that we're then able to recall it and experience it over and over again, especially in those moments where we turn around and go, oh, wait, I just burnt the chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
I do want to make the point for folks watching and listening to us that we're not saying that it's all going to be smooth sailing, that the experience is the experience. You know, there are moments where we need to course correct or where we're being asked to course correct. And so, I'm not sure if you were speaking to discernment through that lens, and I'm curious to flip it back to hear a little bit more about discernment.
Mm.
And from my point of view, I think it's several things. One is, again, having that felt sense of the experience,
Yeah.
noticing it when it happens. Like on this call, I'm able to do it. I feel the
Yeah.
smile coming in. I
Yeah.
can I can recreate it. And then as more things come into our world over this season,
Yeah.
is it bringing more of this? Is it creating more of this
Yeah.
experience that we want, or is it not? And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I mean. Like I
Mm,
think when I bring up the word discernment, it is just taking the time and the space to really decide and prioritize the things that truly matter the most to you.
let's underline that before we move on, and that there is a decision to be made here. We are not at the mercy of the external world. We can decide moment to moment to have the experience we want to have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And I
Yeah.
think that where the reason that I wanted to bring the body into it is because the body is such a great teacher. And, I think we're taught as young people to trust our gut instinct or to like we're flipped on the maybe the negative side of things or the if you have
Mm,
that feeling to trust that feeling. But what about on the positive side? So
yeah.
what about when what does it feel like in your body when it's a full body hell yeah, right? Like that tingling. And that's why I wanted you to talk about that.
Mm,
And then when it is, how do you move that into action? And that's kind of the last thing that I really want to cover today is how do you take that step that would
mm,
demonstrate, to yourself
mm.
or to others watching you, like what is kind of like that micro step that's like, okay, I'm ready to commit. I've got the energy, I've made the decision, I've declared it to someone that I care about and I trust that's going to hold me accountable. This is what's truly important to me now for next because it directly relates to the experience I want in my life. Let's go back to that.
Mm, mm.
How do you move it forward? How do you demonstrate it?
I'm going to go there in a moment, and I just want to rewind the tape a minute and just go back
Yeah.
to something super important you said and underscore it a little bit.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the negative conditioning, we've got this incredible biology that tells us so much. And, there's a lot of science that speaks about our protective systems, that bias towards negativity is a protective system, and it's great.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. And it's really important, I think, for folks to understand that when you have a positive experience, when you have a good feeling in your body, we tend to move on a bit too quick.
Mhm.
Our body tends to retain that negativity a bit more and move on from the positivity a bit too quick. So one
Mhm.
practice that we can do is just slow down a little bit and open time in those moments when we're having
Mhm.
that positive experience. Let our body experience it a bit more and a bit more and a bit more, and just stretch it out. And then continue to do that so that we're trying to kind of level the playing field, or even, tip it towards the kinds of more positive experiences that we want to have, and that is possible. And it takes something. It takes a decision,
Mhm.
to kind of stop and notice.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm saying
Yeah.
that out loud right now, because what I'm doing in this moment is stretching time a little bit and reminding
Mhm.
myself that that is something I want to experience in this season. I
Mhm.
want to savor the good bits just a little bit longer than I might.
Absolutely. And that's it, that's the guidance today. It's like savor
Mm.
the experience is directly related to the feast that that you're looking for. And
Yeah, like, are you going like this? Or,
right?
you know?
Yeah. Are you really savoring that experience? Yeah.
Mm.
As time, the fall is can be a really full time. It's part of harvest. There's a feeling of fullness. With that can come the feeling of busy. And so I really want to remind folks to just stay in your body, to breathe into the experience, to do what you need to do to stay grounded and connected, and to take the next step, to take the next step forward, right?
And
You
and
don't have to
and
do
that
everything at once.
No, and that there's such power in that next step mentality, and the ability to, you know, I to me, busy is a state of mind. It's a choice. Most of us have a lot of stuff on our plates in various forms, and we can experience that as busy, or we can experience that in any way we actually want. And so, that moment when you're experiencing life as busy, you can make a choice in the next step and start making another choice,
Yeah.
and slow down time in that way. So, ooh, I'm excited about this season.
Ah.
We get to
So I
play.
Exactly. So I want to just invite folks. We are hosting a few master classes this fall. If you've enjoyed these conversations, we have 3 upcoming master classes in Transformation by Design that talk about all about finding our fall focus, finding our rhythm, like learning to embody the experience that we're most looking for, and not just looking from out there, but looking because it resonates on a soul
Mm,
level. And
mm,
how do you actually externally harness the energy that's available and then integrate it and implement it? Because I always feel like when we talk about taking that next step, I always remember that the universe is conspiring with
yes.
us, our ancestors and our guides and our co-creators, whether in physical form or otherwise. You have to have the faith and the trust to take the next step, but there's a whole lot of support that's coming to you and with you and for you in that step.
Mm.
So we're going to talk about all the good stuff and more. And you'll find
Yay.
that information. We'll link it in the notes and on our website. Thank you for
We'll see
having
you
a
soon.
conversation today.
It's fun.